In the marble-cold silence of the municipal courthouse, where justice was supposed to be blind, Judge Edward Harrison was about to learn that true accountability sees everything. One dismissive ruling, one moment of unchecked prejudice, and his entire world would pivot on the razor's edge of a single professional revelation. Kenya Johnson stood before him. Not just a lawyer, not just a black woman, but a mirror reflecting the unspoken biases that lurk within institutional power. And today she was about to teach a lesson in justice that no legal textbook could ever capture. Across the courtroom stood Kenya Johnson, a professional black woman in her early 40s, whose presence radiated a quiet but undeniable strength. Her navy business suit was impeccable, her posture straight, her eyes alert and intelligent. She listened intently as Judge Harrison began to speak, his tone dismissive and condescending. "Miss Johnson, your argument lacks merit," he pronounced, his voice carrying that particular brand of judicial arrogance that brooked no challenge. "I find in favor of the defendant and impose a $500 fine for what I consider a frivolous claim." The words hung in the air, laden with prejudice and unexamined assumptions. Kenya's response was measured, professional. "I see," she said, her voice calm but with an underlying steel. "And on what basis are you rendering this judgment, Your Honor?" Her question was polite, but it carried a subtle challenge that made several courthouse spectators shift uncomfortably in their seats. Judge Harrison, believing himself completely in control, waved a dismissive hand. "On the basis of insufficient evidence in what appears to be an emotional rather than a legal presentation." His words dripped with casual condescension, the kind of subtle racism that often goes unchallenged in institutional settings. What happened next would become a moment of profound professional reckoning. Kenya quietly produced her identification, sliding an official document across the bench. As Judge Harrison glanced down, his entire demeanor transformed. The smugness drained from his face, replaced first by confusion, then shock, and finally a dawning comprehension of his monumental mistake. The revelation of Kenya Johnson's true professional identity represents a profound dramatic reversal that subverts the power dynamics established at the beginning of the scene. Initially, Judge Harrison perceives himself as the unquestionable authority, elevated literally and metaphorically on the judicial bench, wielding the power to make judgments and impose consequences. When the document is revealed, the power structure instantaneously transforms. Kenya is not just a lawyer presenting a case, but the regional director of judicial oversight, a position that carries immense administrative and evaluative power. This role gives her the authority to examine the legal reasoning behind court rulings, assess whether judges are following proper legal protocols, investigate potential instances of bias or misconduct, have the power to recommend disciplinary actions, potentially initiate proceedings that could impact a judge's career. Her statement, "We have some matters to discuss regarding your recent judicial conduct," is brilliantly constructed. It's delivered. The phrase turns the tables completely. Where Judge Harrison previously held the power to fine and dismiss, he now finds himself under scrutiny. The "we" subtly implies institutional weight. She's not just speaking as an individual, but representing a systemic mechanism of accountability. Thematically, this moment represents the exposure of unconscious racial bias, institutional mechanisms of professional accountability. The stunned silence in the courtroom symbolizes the shock of seeing established power structures suddenly and definitively challenged. It's a moment of reckoning that goes beyond an individual interaction, suggesting broader social transformations. In that moment, the power dynamic completely shifted. The judge who, moments ago, had been wielding institutional power now found himself under the precise professional gaze of the very person he had attempted to marginalize. It was a stunning reversal that exposed the deep-seated biases still lurking within systemic institutions. The courtroom became a tableau of professional accountability, a vivid demonstration of how unchecked prejudice can lead to profound personal and professional consequences. Judge Harrison, stripped of his assumed superiority, was left to confront the harsh reality of his own biases. If this story resonated with you, shining a light on systemic inequities and professional accountability, please subscribe to our channel for more powerful narratives that challenge perspectives.